In a year of momentous happenings, 1977 was a year of contrast, drama and tragedy. The year had started on a positive note, with fashion gurus Pierre Cardin and Paco Rabanne showing off their very chic and oh-so 70s summer collection. Far from the world of fashion, a struggle for democracy was taking place across the globe. The short-lived government of Pakistan's newly elected Prime Minister Ali Bhutto was overthrown by General Zia. Recovering from 41 years of Franco dictatorship, Spain held its first democratic elections after months of riots. Across in Northern Ireland, the troubles continued with the 5th anniversary of the tragic Bloody Sunday Derry shootings. To mark the occasion, the IRA exploded 12 bombs in London's fashionable West End, and a further 30 bombs were exploded throughout Northern Ireland. Africa was the scene for further unrest. Rhodesia struggled tragically for independence, while the Sudanese government appealed for help in stopping desertification in their sub-Saharan country. Events escalated further in South Africa, with the death of Steve Biko in custody starting what was to become the end of apartheid. While Ugandan dictator Idi Amin entertained British agricultural experts in his trouble-torn patch of Africa. 1977 was also a year of momentous happenings in politics. In China, Deng Xiaoping took power and the notorious Gang of Four was expelled from the Communist Party. And while the Conservative opposition leader Margaret Thatcher was taking a stroll up China's Great Wall, a general strike was underway in Northern Ireland, leaving 3 people dead and more than 80 injured. The Reverend Ian Paisley had called the strike to put pressure on British troops to get tougher with the IRA guerrillas. Peace in the Middle East looked promising for a short time when Egyptian President Anwar Sadat flew into Jerusalem in an unprecedented move to begin long overdue peace talks. Sadat's visit to Israel proved to be divisive amongst Arab nations, although it was applauded in the West. In sport, the remarkable Austrian Niki Lauda took the 1977 Drivers' Championship in Formula One racing just 12 months after barely surviving a fiery crash. Within the heady world of rock and roll, 1977 was a year of controversy, tragedy, and mourning. When the Rolling Stones, who were never far from a scandal, rolled into Toronto for a tour of Canada, band stalwart Keith Richards was remanded on charges of possessing drugs, a crime that carried a life sentence at the time. Then, on August 17th, the world stopped for a moment with the news that the King was dead. The King of rock and roll, Elvis Presley, had died at Graceland. Presley was found on the floor of his bathroom by his fiancée, Ginger Alden. Hundreds of fans gathered outside Graceland to show respect for the dead entertainer. The King was dead, and a new era of music was on the way in. Punk bands The Clash and the Sex Pistols debuted new albums as the punk scene hit the streets looking for trouble. Rock and roll dramas continued with the death of glam rocker Mark Bolan 2 weeks before his 30th birthday. At Bolan's funeral, attended by David Bowie and Rod Stewart, a swan-shaped floral tribute was displayed outside the service in recognition of his breakthrough hit single, Ride a White Swan. 77 was a big year for the airline industry, with the first Concorde flights to the Big Apple. Originally banned from New York airspace, Concorde was cleared for full operations across the Atlantic, ushering in a new era of supersonic air travel. That same year, disaster struck the airline business when 2 Boeing 747s collided on a Tenerife runway, killing 583 passengers and crew. This was the highest number of fatalities ever recorded for a single aviation accident. 1977, a year that had introduced the novelty toy slime and taken a glimpse at the future with a new portable TV, was indeed a year of tragedy, drama, and hope. Truly a year of momentous happenings.